Ladies and gentlemen, my name is, as always, the one and only Connor Clarkson. You saw me last night, now you'll see me again tonight for Mayhem Media Predictions Wrestlemania Night 2. Now, before we get into it, as always, don't forget to check out Mayhem Media on Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble, as well as check out the website when I can find it. Here we go. I think this is the right one. At www.mayhemmediaproductions.com, as well as check out our storefront at www.bonfire.com/store/mayhemmedia-shop. Now, I could sit here and just give you all of my predictions and then get this over and done with, but what fun would that be? So, ladies and gentlemen, my predictions co-host, the Wolfman, Jacob Noblet. Jacob, my brother, we was here yesterday, now we're here again today. How are we?
I'm doing really good. How about you, brother?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Long hours as always, but I'm getting there slowly. Yep. So, just a recap. We did night 1 predictions last night, and now we've got predictions for WrestleMania Night 2. And what better way to start off with than Cody Rhodes versus John Cena? What are we thinking?
I personally would love to see John Cena win his 17th WWE Championship and break the record. But I think it's going to be a tough match.
100%. Like, here's the thing. If he beats and gets 17 championships, we all know Flair is just going to be like, well, if you think of it realistically, it was actually 21, not 16, so try again.
Yeah, I think, no offense, Ric Flair, you're a really nice guy when I met you, but I think you're a little delusional if you think he won 21 titles.
Just a little bit. Now, I've got to go with Cody. Just purely on the basis of the fact that Cena is a part-time worker. It's his last year. He's going into retirement. Let's hope he actually stays in retirement and doesn't do what Ric Flair does and fuck off to another company and then come out of retirement for 2 months, then go back into it. But I've got to say Cody, just purely because Cena does not need another title run. He just doesn't. And even if he gets...
Here's my thought. Let me know what you think. But what if Cena wins the title, goes to Backlash, and faces Randy Orton for the title? And that be his last match.
Okay. I like where this is going. But my problem with that is it's not going to be his last match because he's still got Survivor Series. He's still got SummerSlam. He's probably going to do Money in the Bank, which, again, he doesn't need to win if he's in the fucking ladder match. What am I missing? Clash at the Castle.
Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell, yeah. Bash at Berlin. See, there's 6 pay-per-views right there. Sorry. Premium live events. Fucking WWE terminology bullshit. But again, there's 6 PLEs that are still going to happen. It's not going to be his last match. He's already sold his soul to The Rock, so I guarantee he's going to bitch to Dwayne Johnson. Sorry. That's The Rock for anyone that doesn't watch bad Disney movies.
Like Tooth Fairy? Oh, God.
Yeah, Tooth Fairy is one of them. Central Intelligence, that one with Kevin Hart, that one was actually quite good. Rock's going to probably fuck off and do another Fast and Furious franchise.
They still need to finish off the franchise.
Legit. But back to wrestling. I've got to say, Cody Rhodes. I have got to say, Cody Rhodes is going to win. There's just no other way I can think of Cena actually getting title number 17. Unless you can think of something that I've not already thought of.
But the thing is, what if he doesn't win it and then Cody Rhodes goes off and loses it to Orton at possibly Backlash, and then it's Cena versus Orton? I think Cena and Orton should be his final match somehow.
See, I don't know who Cena's final match should be. I really want it to be Cena versus Triple H, or Cena versus Rock, or Cena versus Randy. But my theory is Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton at Backlash. Because you've got to think legacy.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They were in Legacy together with what's his face?
Ted DiBiase Jr.
Yeah, we don't talk about him.
We don't talk about a lot of people, but we still do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've definitely got to go with Cody Rhodes. Now, here's an interesting one that could go either way. The street fight. Damian Priest, or otherwise known as the bisexual Undertaker, against the Scottish psychopath Drew McIntyre. Again, one that could go 50-50 either way.
It's going to be a bloodbath.
Oh yeah, 100% it is going to be a bloodbath. The question is, whose blood is going to spill first?
I think Drew McIntyre is going to completely bash Damian Priest's face in.
Honestly, that's the way I had it. I've definitely got to say, Drew has an element of needing to get revenge.
Yeah.
Because apparently, glass went into his eye.
Yeah, that's why he got injured and he's wearing that eye patch.
But my theory on this is it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Because you don't get glass in your eye, wear an eye patch, and then all of a sudden 2 weeks later rip the eye patch off and go, I'm clear.
No. That's at least a month.
It's at least a month, and even then, surely you'd have some common sense to cut a promo about being partially blind in that eye.
Yeah.
Like, glass in your eye is fucked. Your vision is gone.
Yep.
Like, seriously. I mean, I've separated my shoulder and come back in a month. I've fucked my hip up and taken 6 months off. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know.
I've had
I think
concussions.
they just kind of rushed through that. Like, if the eye thing happened at, say, Elimination Chamber,
Yeah.
they'd have more time to play on the eye.
Mm-hmm.
But doing it 3 weeks before, it feels like they've not got as much out of that as they could have done. And they've kind of just rushed through it.
Yeah.
Again, I'm 50-50 on this one, but as per the prediction show rules, I need to make a prediction. So I've got to go with Drew McIntyre. I really have. I've got to go with the Scotsman.
Yeah, I agree with you with the injury because I've had 4 concussions. I broke both wrists twice. So that took me at least almost 3 or 4 months to recover from. So I also agree that they're pushing this whole eye thing. Because if it's a legit eye injury, he'd be out for, what, 2-3 months maybe?
At least. Minimum 2-3 months just based on the surgery fact. Let alone the recovery time. You're talking like 5-6 months minimum. And then they're going to just wait until the next PLE comes up. So you'd probably be talking close to like 7 months.
Yeah.
But again, I think they've just rushed through that.
Yeah.
But Drew is going to win. I've got my eyes set on McIntyre winning.
Yeah, my money is on McIntyre. Sorry, Drew. Or sorry.
Okay. Now, the one that doesn't make sense to me is this one, right?
Oh, fatal 4-way.
And wonderful visual, even if I do say so myself, because I made them. The champion Braun Breaker against El Zero Miedo Penta, Dominic Mysterio, and Finn Balor. Now, that doesn't make sense to me one fucking bit. Because why would you have 2 guys that are part of the same faction in a fatal 4-way? It's like, I know it gives it a better chance for Judgment Day to pick up the title. I'm not going to try and do some Braun Breaker / Scott Steiner maths. I haven't got the energy for that. I'll try and create some maths and do it during the watch along. But again, like, it increases their odds to bring a title back, but they're just going to turn on each other, beat the fuck out of everyone, and then leave. Like, the smart play and the really smart play for this would be Dom and Finn work together, beat the fuck out of Breaker and Penta, and then one of those two just lies on the floor, lets the other one cover him. 1, 2, 3, job done, go home. That'd be the easiest way for Judgment Day to get a title.
Yeah.
So the odds are in Judgment Day's favour, but I really want to see Penta get the IC title. Wolfman, what are you thinking?
Well, I've been watching WWE, and they've had multiple fatal 4-ways for titles, and they've had 2 people in the same faction in the match. But like you said, go after Penta and Braun Breaker, beat the living crap out of them, and then they just they flip a switch and they just don't care who they're fighting. They just beat the shit out of each other. And bang, bang, boom, one of them loses.
Legit.
But
So,
but my money has to be on Penta because I can actually see him actually pushing this Intercontinental title to the new future of WWE.
Yeah.
But Braun Breaker or Dominic Mysterio or Finn Balor, those guys, who are they going to put them up against? Give Penta the chance. Like, picture it, Penta versus Phoenix.
Motherfucker, take my money every day of the week.
Picture that. Penta versus his brother for the IC title.
Triple H, Backlashes in 3 weeks. Book it.
See what I mean? Because that would fill seats.
Brother versus brother, kind of like father versus son with Mysterio and Dominic.
Yeah.
Shit. That would work. That would actually work, and I'd pay good money to see that.
Yeah, because the two have history.
Exactly. Those two have been tag team champions in God knows how many promotions now.
New Japan Wrestling, Underground, God knows what others.
And who doesn't love to see a family blood match? I mean, you had Jimmy versus Jay at Mania.
Yep.
You've had Jimmy versus Jay at the Royal Rumble when they both started 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
You've had Reigns Solo Sikoa. Who doesn't love a family feud match?
And they also had Reigns versus Jay at Hell in a Cell.
Shit, how did I forget about that?
And that was brutal.
Yeah, it really was. But here's an interesting one to throw at you. Right? So let's take Penta and Braun out of the situation.
Okay.
Versus Finn. Who'd come out on top on that?
Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor. I gotta go with Finn.
See, I want to go with Finn, but I want to go with Dom just because he's done prison time. Even if it was a day, even if it was 3 hours a day, an hour, 5 minutes, or a 30-second promo, I've got to go with Dom. Because, and no disrespect to Rey Mysterio, but Dom is this generation's Eddie Guerrero. I mean, you can see Eddie in him since that heel turn with Judgment Day.
Yeah, but God rest Eddie Guerrero's soul. No one will ever replace Latino Heat.
100%. 100%. And it's mad to think, but in November, 20 years since we lost him.
Rest in peace, Eddie.
100%. Viva la raza. Now, the triple threat for the women's title. Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair versus Io Sky. I think it's pretty obvious who's winning.
Yeah.
They do say Mummy is always.
Yeah, but I got a feeling somebody's going to get involved.
I just don't see it going any other way than Rhea Ripley. I just really don't.
Yeah,
She's the title.
I don't see it going anywhere with Bianca Belair. I don't see it going anywhere with Io Sky. They had something when it was Liv Morgan versus Shayna Baszler or
Yeah,
whatever. Because those two had chemistry. When you have chemistry, you work with it.
exactly.
So I got a
It's like,
feeling Liv Morgan's going to screw somebody over.
I mean, to be fair, Liv Morgan's probably already screwing Dominic as we speak.
Yeah, but she probably wants another shot at the title too.
Yeah. But then, if Rhea wins, Rhea versus Liv, Backlash. Or Rhea versus Tiffany at Backlash.
If it's Rhea versus Liv, think about it. What if it's loser leaves Judgment Day, winner becomes the head of Judgment Day?
Yeah, but does Rhea want to go back to Judgment Day when Dom's in there after everything that's happened with those three?
If she does win that match, I know exactly what she's going to do.
Yeah.
She's going to beat the living crap out of Dominic Mysterio and throw his monkey ass out and start from scratch.
And then Damian Priest is going to beat the fuck out of Finn.
Yep.
They're going to get rid of Carlito because there's no reason for him to be in Judgment Day.
He hasn't done anything.
And then if you think about it, Rhea and Damian create Judgment Day 3.0.
Yep.
Because the original one was Edge,
Rhea.
Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley. The second one was Liv, Finn, Dom, Carlito, and JD. No, that was Judgment Day 3.0. You get the idea. There's going to be a new Judgment Day. So, on that theory alone, I've got to go with Rhea Ripley.
Yep.
Now, a match that makes sense, but I don't think should be at WrestleMania. Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. I don't think this is worthy of WrestleMania.
That doesn't seem like a WrestleMania match. That seems like more of like a main event for Raw or SmackDown.
Like, fair enough. Like, I'd say either a main event at like Raw or like an opening match at like Backlash or Money in the Bank or something like that. Because no one's fighting for a number one contenders match. No one's fighting for a title. It's just two big dudes having a match because they don't like each other, and it's basically a filler spot.
Yeah, because they didn't have anybody else open for a match.
Exactly. So it's like, I don't think that one should be at WrestleMania. It is at WrestleMania. I ain't in charge of WWE booking. If I was, I definitely would not be living in the United Kingdom.
I'd be living in some WrestleMania.
If I was doing the booking for WWE, I'd be living in Dubai on a yacht. But nonetheless, it's on the card, so we need to make a prediction. Jacob, what are you thinking?
I've never liked either of them, but I got to go with AJ Styles. He has the history, he has the background. He's more experienced in WrestleMania, and Logan Paul is just a spoiled brat.
See, he is spoiled, but at the same time, you can't deny the work and the effort that he's put in. And for that reason alone, I've got to go with Logan Paul.
Yeah.
To mix it a little bit.
And his drink is crap.
There is nothing wrong with Prime. Listen, I drink Prime just before I go to the gym. I drink Red Bulls before I go to the gym, and I drink Monster before the gym. I need that caffeine hit, and if I have Prime in the fridge, I will drink it. Again, Logan Paul, we'd love to have you on. And yeah. But again, it's in my opinion, it's not a WrestleMania. Oh, get your words out, you British idiot. It's not a WrestleMania worthy match. It just seems like it'd be an opening for Backlash, Money in the Bank, X, Y, and Z, or a main event on Raw.
Or dark
It's
match.
not. See, I think it's worth more than a dark match because AJ Styles would not do it as a dark match. And to be honest, having AJ Styles at Mania, fair enough, because who knows how many Manias he's got left. But against Logan Paul, I mean, Logan does deserve to be at Mania because he's had the matches against Ray. He's had the match against Roman. Who else is it? I forget who he's actually had a match with.
I think he's fought Cena.
Again, yeah. I don't watch that much of Logan's stuff because he's done so few. But nothing's really screamed out to me apart from the match with Ray and the match with Reigns. But I suppose this is his chance to prove that he does belong here yet again. So I've got to go with Logan.
Okay.
Now, the final match on the list, I've done this in a really weird order, but it's the tag team match. Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. For the is that for the tag team titles?
Yeah.
See, what I don't get is, why can't you see Raquel's tag title? Is it there? Is it just an imaginary one? But again, I've got to go. See, Lyra's got. Is it the women's IC title? Or, yeah, it's the women's IC title.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
No.
I thought it was the women's US, but then Chelsea's got that.
No, Chelsea Green's the United States champion.
Yeah. So, do I think they're going to put her on as a double champ? Possibly. They've done it before. But do I think it's a tag team with Bayley? No. Do I think Lyra should work on singles and just stay as a singles competitor while she's got the IC title and then maybe do tag team stuff after she drops it? Absolutely. Yeah. So, based on that, I've got to go Judgment Day.
Yep.
What you thinking?
I'm going to back probably the Judgment Day on that one because they can do more with the Judgment Day if they win the titles. If Bayley and Lyra win it, who are they going to fight?
Exactly.
There's no other female teams.
Yeah. I mean, you've got the Secret Service, but then at the same time, it just seems like the women's tag team, they're just putting A and B together and expecting A plus B to equal C.
Yeah. They gotta.
Do you know what I mean? Like that gauntlet match, and none of the people in there, apart from Judgment Day, Secret Service, and Lyra and Bailey, actually, and Damage Control as well. Though that's literally 4 tag teams. You take Judgment Day out of the mix. You take obviously Bailey and Lyra out of the mix, and you take Damage Control out of the mix. Who are they seriously going to fight? No one.
Unless they bring some teams from NXT.
I thought Bailey was working more with NXT, which probably makes sense with Lyra. But again, I don't know. But on that theory alone, I've got to back Judgment Day.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you're doing the exact same thing.
Yep.
So, that's all the matches for WrestleMania. But we are not done, because we need to talk about Randy Orton and his mystery opponent. This could be a very long segment.
This one really drove me nuts.
It could be anyone. Literally anyone. But I'm pretty sure the person we want it to be is Magnus himself. Nick Aldis, the general manager of SmackDown, versus the Apex Predator. I mean, it makes sense because in 2023, he hit an RKO, had to pay a $50K fine. He doubled it to $100K and said, oh yeah, that's for next time. What happens? Hits the RKO. That basically paid off. Long-term storytelling in play. Fair play to WWE for doing it like that. And again, he hit it on Nick Aldis, which since for Orton versus Nick. I just don't know who it could be. See, I've heard rumors that it's Goldberg. I've heard rumors that it's Brock Lesnar. I've heard rumors that it's Hardy. I've heard rumors saying it's Rusev. I've heard rumors saying it's Ryback. I've heard rumors for some god-awful reason. Not god-awful, but it makes no sense for it to be Joe Hendry, even though that's been rumored. It could be anyone, but I just want it to be Nick Aldis. So, with that being said, hypothetically speaking, I'm going to look into my crystal ball right now, and it's telling me Randy Orton versus Nick.
Yep.
Who would win against Randy Orton and Nick Aldis?
I gotta back Randy.
See, I want to back Randy, but my problem is this. Nick has grown up about a 35 minute drive from me. One of my best mates, his dad, went to school with Nick Aldis.
Holy crap.
He's British. So you kind of see where the favoritism's coming from. Not only that, I've seen him when he's done bits in the British Indies. and I've seen videos of his training seminars. And even though he's not been in TNA for God knows how many years, and seeing as he's not had a match in God knows how many years, I just think it's a perfect reason for him to showcase what he can do when he's with WWE in front of what would technically be a fresh audience. And for him to have his WWE debut at WrestleMania in Vegas, it makes sense. It makes sense. But we'll learn more about that when SmackDown's on Friday. But Jacob, if it was Nick versus Randy, who are you going for?
It's a toss-up because those two have been building up this story for what, 2-3 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like putting a Mentos in a Coke bottle. You just can't keep shaking it and just expect it to not explode.
It's a weird way of putting it, but I understand where you're coming from.
The pressure's going to build and something's going to blow.
Yeah. And I guarantee something's going to blow on SmackDown on Friday night, which, correct me if I'm wrong, is not that far away. Well,
but I also heard another rumor. It could also be Solo Sikoa versus Orton.
I can raise you Solo Sikoa with something even better. Tama fucking Tonga.
They did have that little spat at, what was it, Raw or SmackDown, where Randy kind of chewed him out.
I want to say it was last week's SmackDown and Raw 3 weeks ago, because it was literally the Raw after the SmackDown that KO announced his pullout from WrestleMania and his injury.
Yeah, so that could also be a contender, but if it's Nick Aldis versus Orton, that's a tough one. I gotta go with Magnus.
I've definitely got to go with Magnus. But please, if it's Magnus and Trips, if you hear this, please let him come out to his TNA entrance ring music. Please, for the love of God, make it happen.
That would be... That would definitely fill seats. Because that stadium,
Yeah.
I did research, that stadium holds over 70,000 people.
Exactly. 70,000 people. And with that being said, we are only 2 people. WrestleMania is right around the corner. So we're going to finish this up and let you all get ready for WrestleMania. And we will see you on Saturday night and Sunday night for the live watch along hosted by Mayhem Media. So until then, Wolfman, it's been a pleasure, and I'll see you on the other side, brother.
Peace out.
Peace.